So this opens, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, I did the first 2 big hub rooms. Okay, I've done the 4 little adventure rooms. Okay, I've got to be close to done with this dungeon now, right? Oh, the dungeon music in here changed. Because we've opened the back door now. I want to turn my MP3 player back on. Ooh, this is a good song, actually. This is a remix of the Final Fantasy III overworld music from The City, and it's really good. Final Fantasy III, that's a game I played a couple times this past year that I learned a lot more about, and I like it a lot more now than I did, and I already liked it pretty well. I went the wrong way on this platform. So at this point I'm thinking, okay, the goal of the dungeon is through this room. We did all the challenge rooms. This is going to loop back around to the first area of the dungeon. And we're almost done. I've been at it for like 3.5 hours at this point. And I thought, Shirley is a woman's name that was more popular in the 40s and 50s than it is now. Alright, let's roll. Hooah! We didn't make it. We're getting dumped in the hole. Down the garbage chute we go. If you're really good, you can ride this rotating platform around to the top, and there are shinies up there to get. Which I did get my first time through the dungeon. I think just getting those 2 shinies probably took 15 or 20 minutes of trial and error. A little too early. A little too steep on the grade there. That was way too early. No, it wasn't. That worked out. Okay. Jumped a little too late. We got on the platform at the right time, but we jumped too late. But I thought for sure, like after the big rolling sphere and those 4 individual platforming rooms, I thought for sure we're gonna go through this door. It's gonna loop back around to the first or second area of the dungeon. There we go. And then I walk in this room and we see Monster Skull Face. The giant death machine. Oh goodness. Okay, we gotta do this part pretty quick actually. We want to fall there, jump here. By now the wall should be coming back. Yep, there it is. We want to get over here. Over. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Oh, this skull. Like I was PJ Salt at this point. I was getting a little ragey because I'd spent so long in this dungeon already and gone through so many of these platforming challenges. I thought for sure. Oh, I should have jumped. I thought I could walk off that platform and land down there, but I didn't. It's fine, though. We'll make it this time. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It was a little bit ragey at this point. Like, how many more friggin' rooms are there to this friggin' dungeon? That's what we want. So now we'll go under the wall. Under the horrible death machine. And there's a little platform here we can get on and ride the wall. Now we're riding the wall. Pick up a high potion. High potions and potions are actually really good in this game. Just the way the battle system has changed. They're not like junk anymore like they used to be in older games. What is this? Something from... Oh, Type 0. I wasn't really that enamored with Type 0. I think I might go back and try it again later. At a later time. Not totally sure. So we want to go under here now. Wait for the wall to come back again. And I'm like, okay, so we're just going to go back and forth under this wall. But there's a door leading into the giant death machine wall. And now we're inside it. This is where we live. Welcome to my house. My house has a skull and is covered in teleportation spikes. Alright, so... At this point, it became apparent, like, okay, this wall room is just enormous, and we're just going to go back and forth repeatedly, aren't we? It's just... There's no end to the Pitioss dungeon. It just goes and goes and goes. And there's not even a skull on the back of the wall, or even, like, a giant skull butt, which would have been fine. This little ledge here kind of counts as the butt of the wall, I suppose. There's a shiny here, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Elixirs are really good in this game. Elixirs are something you really want. That's kind of showing, I think, how far away you can pick those objects up. Because that shiny was over a hole, and I picked it up from, like, the next zip code. Oracle Ascension coins are actually really good, too. You trade those to a particular NPC for the business. Whatever that means. I think this is a little detour we want to take here. Yes, because we open up a shortcut. So all of that has to be done on one checkpoint, because the next checkpoint is right here. I mean, the checkpoint's in the same spot, but we've opened this door. Ah! It's fine. It's okay. We can jump right back down there. Now, I can demonstrate instead of explain why that's a checkpoint. But you see how much of the room you're expected to clear in one go. Like, the dungeon really expects a lot out of you, and that goes back to what I said about the confidence of the developers of this dungeon. The confidence that they had... Where am I going from here? The confidence they had in the game that they had designed. Actually, I think I need to go up here and go into the dungeon, into the wall again, don't I? No, this is where I came from. No, it's not. No, it's not. Oh, I missed my ride. No, we need to climb inside the wall now. We're gonna skip that. Final Fantasy XIV has some good music. I only played Final Fantasy XIV for like 6 hours, and I was done with it. That game was so terrible. Then they remade the entire game, but at that point I wasn't gonna get invested in it, so... But yeah, what I was saying about the confidence the developers had in their game that they made. Look at that, what I did. Look at me replaying this one jump again. That they were able to design this dungeon in the first place. And they designed the early parts of it to make the player very confident in their jumping abilities. So they can throw bigger and badder challenges at them. And it just ramps up and up and up. But we want to make sure we don't miss this. Let's walk across safely here. So this is kind of a catty corner jump. We got to get into this doorway here, and it's not easy to miss. It's easier than it looks, even though you're jumping at kind of a strange diagonal. But if you don't take those jumps safely, you can end up replaying a lot of the dungeon. Now you can see I've got on screen like a pseudo timer at the top right next to where there would be a mini map if the Pitioss dungeon had a map, which it doesn't. You see a little chocobo icon that says 6 days left. The reason it says 6 days left is the icon above that, the little thing that says 18, that's the in-game clock. That's showing us, now I'm on top of the skull, beautiful. That's showing us what time of day it is, because this game has a day-night cycle that ties into a lot of the different quests and a lot of the monster spawns and things in the game. The way chocobos work in this game is you rent them from a special chocobo phone booth. And you can rent a chocobo for 7 days and then have access to it and call it anywhere you want in the game world for those 7 days. And it shows you on the screen how much longer you have until your chocobo rental is out. That was exactly what I wanted there. Excellent work. So we've already been inside of this dungeon for 1 game day. I don't really know exactly how long in like hours a game day is, like in real life hours. I've never really timed it. I think it's about... I guess I could look at my recording window and tell, because that's been for as long as I've been recording. But I came in here with 7 chocobo days left the first time I played the dungeon, because the save file that I'm using here is my first time through the dungeon. We need to be down here, don't we? And I think by the time I reached the room with the 5 doors, I had already run the entire chocobo counter all the way out. I'd already been my chocobo had run out. And I've improved to the point where now I can get all the way to here with just one game day instead of 7. If I clear the whole dungeon before I run out of chocobo time, it will be the first time I have accomplished that. So we'll see how it goes. Also, Noctis' shirt is really dirty here because he's been rolling around so much. Rolling around in the dusty ruins. Not rolling around at the speed of sound, hilariously enough. Alright, we need to get back on the skull head, which will take us up and above the entrance to this giant death machine room. Oh, we almost made this cycle, but I'm going to play it safe. You get to this point in the room and you're like, of course the giant skull head isn't just decoration. Of course that is a platform that you'll use. Of course it is. Of course. Why didn't I see that coming? Okay. Go up here. Can we just drop from here maybe instead of jump? No, it's probably not safe. All the way down here. Boom. Nice. You do take falling damage, and the falling damage is proportional to your hit points. Like, I took 2,000 falling damage from that. But your hit points refill pretty quickly outside of combat. And there's no combat in this dungeon. No combat whatsoever. It's all just platforming challenges and puzzles. I think if there was combat in this dungeon, I would not record it as a Let's Play, because I think if there were combat, I would feel more obligated to give a more in-depth explanation about like how combat works and run through the whole game and everything. And of course, I typically don't record really long RPG games. But because the Pitioss Ruins is like so set aside from everything else the dungeon is, I thought it made for a good recording. Here again is an excellent use of light, showing you where to go next. That blue spotlight shining on top of the little platform there, on top of the death machine. These catwalks here, we're not going to get the treasures on these catwalks, because I don't want to fall to my, not death, but fall to my teleport back to the checkpoint. This sounds like some Dissidia remix here, yo. Alright, we want to get top-down camera here. We're going to go old school for this section. Nice. We want to... Hold on. Jump across there, yes. We don't actually want to... Noctis, I don't like the way you're standing right now, my friend. You're good, you're good. Okay. Okay. See, now we're very high above the horrible death machine. We're way up there. And once again, I got to this point, and I saw the glowy button. Did you see the glowy button for a second over there? And I was like, this is it. This is the end. We conquered the giant glowy death machine. This has got to be... We're closing in. I was so excited. I had run all of my Chocobo time. It was hours at this point. Oh, I thought I was going to fall there. We made it, though. And I was so excited to jump to this button. And we get dumped into a new place. Now we're in a new place. With a checkpoint there. So, now, I'm like, oh god, where am I? This entire area is made out of 45-degree angles, and Noctis automatically walks very cautiously here. And this entire section is built around the idea of vertigo. And I can't really explain what I mean, but you will definitely see what I mean as I go through this section. You can almost see, I don't know if it'll show up on the recording, but you can almost see way down in the darkness there, there's a little something something. That's not just decoration either. This dungeon is incredibly long. Alright, but hey, we got some Final Fantasy IV decisive battle music happening. I think this is the Dissidia remix of it, actually. So, I'm not, remember, where do I jump to? That's just the wall. But remember, I'm not on a level platform. I'm on a 45-degree grade. I just had the camera pointed way down. So your camera it plays weird tricks on you in this area. Places that look like walls are actually ledges, and places that look like ledges are actually walls. And just spinning the camera in some areas. There's one spot in particular later in the dungeon that you'll see what I mean. When I spin the camera, and you're going to go, what? Why did the camera do that? It's pretty good. So we're heading down into the depths of the dungeon now. That little area there, this platform, on getting to this platform, that was another 20-30 minutes of trial and error. I didn't realize you could just walk off and land on it, and once I was on it, I didn't realize you were supposed to turn around and walk downward into the depths. Alright guys, hold on to your lunch. Ugh! That camera move is so weird, because you walk on that platform for so long, you become accustomed to, oh, he's just moving carefully, like this tunnel looks like a regular tunnel that he's just kind of steeping through, but it's not. It's a 45-degree angle. And this whole area is just so disorienting. I love it, though. I love the game playing tricks on me like this. Do I need to jump? Oh, I see where I'm going. This is fine. This is fine! Okay, this little dangly bit here I have fallen off of several times. Not that time, though. Good job, Noctis. Alright, hold the X button, don't press it. Let's get the camera behind me here, so I can safely climb this wall. Like, I loved the puzzly room in the Tomb Raider games, and this puts them to shame. I would love a Tomb Raider game to do stuff like this. Like, whatever the next Tomb Raider game is called. Let's see, the last one was Rise of the... maybe Fall of the Tomb Raider. It's about Lara Croft's becoming a Sith Lord. I don't know. That would be Revenge of the Tomb Raider, I guess, not Fall of the Tomb Raider. Did I get in there? I made that jump thinking I was going to go to one platform. Then after I was in the air, I realized I was trying to get to the other platform, and I tried to steer myself to where I knew I then needed to go, and I thought I was going to fail it. But nope, we did not biff. We're still good. We haven't made it to the next checkpoint yet either. We still got a minute, guys. Okay, so we're going to go down here. Way down there. Wait, where did that respawn me? Oh, back up here. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, I suppose. Just facing the other direction. Oh, so we gotta do the whole skull platform again. That's fine. Okay. I really thought there was a checkpoint after the skull platform. We saw the little guy down there. The little platform guy. You know what? I might have been far enough along that I was literally underneath this room. I wonder if that was it. I was underneath this room, so of course I didn't respawn in this room.
Shoutouts to Gordalot for sponsoring this video, and to everybody who helps make my channel possible by supporting me on Patreon.